All right. So, welcome everybody to another Cyberscope Twitter space where we'll be unlocking the secrets of Web3, this time with Hyperglade. I'm sure it's going to be a pretty exciting Twitter space, especially because we'll go through the hackathon that you guys are getting ready to unleash. I think it's going it's going live next week. I think you guys have a demo day, but we'll get into it into some more details later on. So, thanks for joining us today, and yeah.
Thanks a lot, Andres. It's a pleasure to join your Twitter space. And Like you said, yes, we have a hackathon coming up on the 17th of November. This will be in Singapore at Draper Startup House. We are also live streaming the event, so anybody can simply join in. Also, we are an official side event of the Singapore FinTech Festival, which is taking place starting from next Monday onwards.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about that. That's actually pretty interesting. So the demo day essentially is a side event to the fintech event.
Yes, yes. The demo day itself is a side event. And The demo day is actually going to be the most interesting part of the hackathon, where we will showcase 10 different teams that are building some amazing use cases on blockchain, about which we can get into more details
Yeah,
during this phase.
definitely. Okay, cool. So before we get into any more details, I'd like you to walk us briefly through what you're doing in the in on at Hyperglade, and what's Hyperglade?
Amazing. Yes. So Hyperglade is a no-code blockchain platform, and that's what we are developing up to. Let me give you a brief idea about what the issue we saw in the blockchain space is and how we are coming up with a product to solve this. Um, so uh, Last year and this year, we saw a lot of companies move towards real-world use cases of blockchain. This is not a new thing. This has been tried out for several years. One of our partners, Mastercard, has launched supply chain related use cases in North America for several years. And so what we have seen is there are very interesting use cases of blockchain in the real world. Dubai government is pushing very hard towards going on blockchain with land, with also documents, audits, and many different things. We've seen universities tokenize their certificates on blockchain, so it can be easily verified. Similarly, in supply chain, blockchain can add a lot of traceability, transparency, and reduce a lot of fraud that can be committed in throughout the supply chain. A lot of products that has a focus on sustainability and focus on where the origins of the products are can use blockchain to solve this problem. These are only some of the very few use cases we've seen out there. Uh, with NFTs, we saw even companies like Starbucks launch loyalty programs on blockchain, and there's a lot to do with tokenization. We saw a lot of I mentioned a lot of large names here, enterprises, governments, things like that. But when it comes to the actual use cases of blockchain, it can reduce a lot of complexity. It can reduce cost of implementation and maintenance when it comes to these use cases. But we haven't seen that happen because if a company wants to, let's say, add traceability to their supply chain, what they would typically do is they would typically hire a development team to do this. So there's a lot of research and development ongoing. The company needs to understand how exactly to use this particular solution, and the end users. When it comes to the end users of the product, typically they would have to know what a wallet is, how to use a wallet, and if they don't know about it, this use case would alienate them. So there's a lot of issues that we saw in this space. So what we did was at Hyperglade, we did a few consultation level projects in the last year, and we realized that there's a lot of potential for a product that can launch blockchain use cases. So this year, we got funded by Draper Associates in Silicon Valley. Post funding, we were creating the product, and we came out with this interesting model called beneficial asset ownership model. Um, that can essentially launch multiple different use cases of blockchain easily. So eventually, what Hyperglade is a platform that can let any small to medium companies have a blockchain strategy as a subscription. Just like how you would, let's say, pay for weeks for your website, you can pay Hyperglade on a monthly basis and have your own blockchain uh, strategy and use case. So we provide the dashboarding, we provide the minting tools, and also on top of that, there's an on-ramp, off-ramp facility where the businesses can target their entire user base instead of just the segment of their user base that knows Web3. For an example, we are launching a supply chain use case for a UK based company and a Europe based company that is going to use our solution to uh, add transparency, increase traceability in their supply chain. And what they are simply doing is they already have a supply chain created. By plugging in the blockchain component, they add a lot of transparency there. So using our API, they plug it directly to their existing system and they pay us a few $100s on a monthly basis. So it's that easy. They don't have to spend tens of thousands of dollars implementing a solution. It's out of the box, able to fit into them. And also, we have a very interesting use case launching early end of this month. It's going to be a EV battery backed token for a electric vehicle fleet management company, which is essentially using our tokenization product to tokenize battery and offer it to the market as an investment instrument. And on top of that, we have seen a few parties that will be using our product to tokenize real estate in North America. And our team is originally from Sri Lanka, so we have a few clients in Sri Lanka as well who are using this solution, especially in supply chain. Sri Lanka does a lot of exports. So similarly, within the last 4 to 5 months, we've been able to fundraise and come up with our product and launch in the market. So that's a little bit about Hyperglade. So part of this solution is what is being used in our hackathon as well.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. One second. Let me
So
stop you here because you're kind of speed running through everything. I'd like us to kind of sit down and break things down a little bit just so we can get a better idea of how this works because it's like super interesting.
yes.
It's the first time that I'm hearing
Yes,
something like
definitely.
this.
So I mentioned a lot of different things. So anything interesting that you want to go deep into,
Yes.
let me know. Let's go
Yes,
into it.
of course. So first and foremost, I wanted to say that it's really convenient what you guys are doing. I mean, it's very convenient for for firms to transition onto Web3 without spending a lot of resources and time, on building their own solution and going through a lot of trial and error. We know how it goes. It's always a waste of time. So but I'd like to get a better idea of how it works, right? You talked about beneficial asset ownership. So could you kind of break this down a little bit as it's going to be the main the main solution for the hackathon as well. It'd be great if we can get a better understanding of it.
Yes. So when it comes to the beneficial asset ownership model, it's a very simple concept. And what happens is in the real world, when we deal with different solutions, there's always a centralized entity or a custodian. So it can be your banking entity, it can be a financial institution, it can be the government, or it can be a company that you trust. So we've taken an element of that and created a protocol. And this protocol has a custodian that will create the tokens. And these tokens are backed by a certain asset. It can be real estate, it can be EV batteries, or it can be essentially anything. But what we have done is with this protocol, we have added certain safeguards into the protocol as well. So you can essentially define a facilitator. So when it comes to real estate, it can be the regulator for real estate that can be added as a facilitator. So there's added trust in the system. And when it comes to certification, typically certificates are launched by a university so that particular university becomes the custodians of the token and people can easily verify the validity of the certificates using that. So this particular model revolves around the asset, custodian, and token model. And what we have done is we have created a open source protocol around it and that can essentially allow any developer use this protocol to launch a blockchain use case. So I'll take an example of real estate. So in this case, the real estate, will consider it to be an apartment complex that earns rental. So as an asset, that apartment complex can it is managed by a property management company, and that management company owns the deed to this particular apartment. And using that deed, this management company can create a number of tokens using our protocol, and these tokens can be traded, and the user who owns this token has a beneficial ownership to that property. And through the smart contract, they can get benefits that are generated. It can be capital gains, or it can be rental income as well. In the financial world, in TradFi, this is generally referred to as a REIT, and the similar concept can be easily implemented without a lot of different complex systems. Easily, you can implement a read system using this protocol. So that is what that is one use case of the protocol that can be done. So we have one team from Dubai that is joining our hackathon that will be working on the REIT model, and we have another team from Singapore that is using the REIT model and has added a very interesting memory component added. It's a very market centric requirement that they have added there. And we have another team from Sri Lanka that is using as well. So there's three teams in the hackathon that will be using our protocol to come up with the REITs model. Um,
Okay, perfect.
so
I think
I hope that kind of cleared out how the protocol works. It's available for in the website as an open source protocol as well.
yeah, awesome. I didn't perfectly understand how it works now. So I did my research earlier, but you explained it very well, so I actually got it now. So you can basically kind of tokenize anything. Real estate for now is a perfect fit to your solution. But basically anything can be tokenized, right? Anything that's backed.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Exactly.
So are there any other types of use cases except real estate for now?
Yes. So let me take a look at some, I can use this space to give some awareness towards the teams that are joining our hackathon, so I can walk through the use cases.
Yes. Yes,
So
that'd be awesome.
real estate is the front runner. There's a lot of interest there, as one can imagine. There's another very interesting use case for YouTuber tokenization. So how they are working on this is they will tokenize the YouTube channel using our protocol, and this channel can issue tokens that essentially become shares of that channel. So these token holders get the income that is generated by the future videos that the channel is launching. So it's a platform for YouTube content creators to tokenize their channel and earn an additional income upfront and increase the quality of their videos, increase the audience, and essentially give a benefit to the people who back them up. So it will be a very interesting use case with a lot of content creation happening in different markets right now. I feel like this could open up a lot of avenues for content creators. And so that's another use case. And then there's a supply chain. Andres, if you have any questions.
Sorry, yes, I do. I do have a question. So all of this is supposed to be centralized, of course, right? So as a user, when can where can somebody buy these tokens? Suppose on a centralized exchange, or can they be bought decentralized as well? Like
Yeah, so in the beginning of our product, it'll be issued by, for instance, the YouTube tokenization will be issued on the platform. So that platform will offer the users the ability to log in and purchase the token. They can either log in with their wallet, or they can even log in with their email address. So we are using Web3 auth. It's gotten a lot of attention over the last year. So Web3 auth will be used to allow on-ramp for users as well. So this solution doesn't have to be restricted to the Web3 market. So in that particular use case, they will be issuing the tokens on that platform. As a improvement to the protocol, we'll be adding the ability to plug into other marketplaces. So essentially, you can, if it's on Ethereum, you can list it on OpenSea, likewise. But in the beginning of our platform, in the version one, it'll be sold on that particular company's, um, essentially a launchpad or a marketplace. In the real estate component, the real estate marketplace is where the tokens are sold. Um, in the EV use case, they have their own site where the tokens can be purchased, and they're coming up with a tradability component as well.
Okay, awesome. And last question for the protocol and building side of things. So assume that I want to build on on your protocol. What's the EVM compatibility like? Are these products compatible with EVM ecosystems, or how would that work in the future?
We have a partnership with Tezos and TCA Pack. Essentially, we've been part of the accelerator. So the first version of the protocol we have launched on Tezos. We are coming up with the Solana implementation next week. So as a part of our demo day, we are launching it on Solana, and then we are coming up with EVM compatibility for Ethereum and other chains. So that's third on our list. I think it should be launched by end of January. So after that, we are expecting to launch it in multiple other chains as well.
Awesome, awesome. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm really excited for what you guys are for what you guys are building from an individual perspective as well, like from an investor's point of view. But anyways, okay.
Thanks,
So
Elias.
let's talk about the hackathon. As I assume that
Yes.
this is your first hackathon, right?
So this will be the first one we are organizing through Hyperglade. And we are very excited for it because the moment we announced the protocol and how it can be used, essentially the idea is that any developer, they don't have to know anything about blockchain. They can use this protocol and build a use case on blockchain. So we have always been working towards the mass adoption of blockchain and its use cases, making blockchain accessible. So this is part of our uh, vision as well. So we wanted to take a component of our tech, which we call beneficial asset ownership model, and we open sourced it and we announced it to developers. And I'm glad to say most of the developers that are taking part are new to Web3 and blockchain. Essentially they knew about blockchain in a way that they had the business sense, but they didn't have the technical knowledge. So they are now very easily able to come up with a use case within a few weeks time. So that was the idea behind the protocol, and I'm very glad to see that it's working out as well. So this essentially shows how our product can be used for multiple use cases. So I covered real estate and YouTuber tokenization. We also have a couple of companies building supply chain traceability, certificate tokenization as well. And then there's another university team from RMIT Australia that is building a use case for construction management. There's a particular government regulation that has come up in Australia for auditing purposes in the construction space, which they are going to use this as a solution. So a lot of different interesting use cases came about, mostly from people who are new to the blockchain space as well.
Okay, perfect. If you allow me, I'm going to throw you three questions, one after the other, and I'll let you answer them. So,
Perfect.
first and foremost, this might be a kind of a straightforward one, but I want to know what inspired you on, kind of wanting to run a hackathon. I mean, obviously, exposure and getting your tech out there, I guess, is one of the reasons. Um, but I'd like to know if there are any more. And I'd like to also know what participants can expect from the hackathon, like in terms of prizes, and basically just give us an idea of how can one get involved. Um, yeah.
Right. So when it comes to why the hackathon, so there's a personal reason there as well. One of the reasons why I got into startups is because I participated in a lot of hackathons when I was in university. and it added a lot of value to me as a person, and it allowed me to find my passion. So I've always wanted to do a hackathon, and this seemed like a perfect fit because we had an open source protocol out there, and we wanted to get some visibility towards what we can do, what our tech can do, and we knew a lot of university and startup team. So it kind of like put together by itself. Uh, and I can't really say how we planned it, just that ideas were bouncing off. We have a very interesting team at Hyperglade that has a lot of experience building products and startups. So we have these regular calls. So during this, we bounce off different ideas, and somehow the hackathon came to be. And so we spoke to a few partners. We met Thanos and at Token 2049. So we saw that there's a lot of synergies between what we are doing, and we spoke to TZA Pack, we spoke to MasterCard and a few other companies, and this became a reality. So that's how the hackathon came to be. And when it comes to the prices, we have up to $30,000 in prices. And there's several categories out there. The main category is use cases of the BAO protocol, and we have another category for improving the BAO protocol as well, where you can come up with the BAO protocol in different chains, or you can add more features to the protocol, and there's a whole separate category on that as well. And not even that, that's just part of it. This price is just part of it. We have different investors, industry partners, and a lot of people who can help startups coming for the demo day. So we have a networking event happening where we connect everybody, and uh, if these investors like one of these teams, they can directly go ahead with it as well. Like, they can maybe create a partnership, especially in the Singapore market. We've seen REITs picking up, tokenized REITs. So there are two or three companies that are launching the tokenized REIT solution next year. So I think it'll be a very interesting demo day as well. So that's a little bit about it.
Awesome, awesome, perfect. From a project's point of view, or participants' point of view, I think the exposure and the exposure to investors is the most valuable, in my opinion. Like, at the stage that they're at. Anyways,
Exactly.
we're also like super excited being involved in something so innovative. So we're very happy about that as well. I just wanted to let you know. Um, so moving on, are there any
Thanks.
what are you guys looking for when it comes to judging, right? So tell us a bit about the judging criteria, and run us through the timeline as we're kind of wrapping this up.
Great. Okay. So right now the teams are in the final phase of the development, and the development mainly revolved around how they can use the BAO protocol and come up with this functionality. But that's not the main focus of the demo day. In the demo day, the main focus will be towards the use case. There's a lot of use cases out there, so we are getting people who have been in the blockchain space to vet these ideas. How business savvy are these ideas? What are the problems they might run into? So in this hackathon, these teams get some very good feedback from the judges as well on the viability of their ideas. So to like summarize it, the pitch that they will be presenting on the demo day will carry a lot of weight, and that will be a core focus of the hackathon as well.
Perfect, perfect. So, did you run us through the timeline by any chance?
Yeah, right. Yeah, sorry about that. So the hackathon is the end of the hackathon is the demo day on the 17th. We start the demo day at 6:30 p.m. Singapore time, and the pitching will end at 8:30. And from 8:30 to 10:30, it'll be the networking event. We are going to have food, drinks, and this will be at Draper Startup House. They are one of our main partners for the hackathon. They have a very vibrant ecosystem in Singapore, so it'll be a very good opportunity for the teams to network there. So 6:30 we are going to start to go to up to 8:30, and then there's going to be the networking event. So from 6:30 to 8:30 we'll be live streaming the event as well.
All right, perfect. And that's on the 17th of November, if I'm correct, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Awesome. So, is there anything else that you'd like to go through before we kind of wrap this up? Otherwise, I'd like to tell us a bit of a few things about the future of Hyperglade. How are you envisioning it? You mentioned next steps are launching on Solana next week, and EVM compatibility within the following month, right?
Yes. So those are a very small step that we are taking towards our grand vision. So our vision for Hyperglade is to come up with the no-code platform. So we are currently building parts of it. We are coming up with the BAO protocol that can handle the tokenization use cases, supply chain use cases, and then we are coming up with a few other protocols as well. So in 1 year's time, we will combine these protocols to come up with our no-code platform. So with this no-code platform, let's say imagine a business that want to have a supply chain use case running, for instance. So they don't need to have any interaction with us at all. They simply go to the website, plug it to, maybe if they have an existing solution, they can plug it through using the API, or they can launch their own dashboard and the tokens, and within a few clicks, within a few minutes, they can launch a solution tailor-made to their customer base, and their customer base can use their credit cards, debit cards, or cryptocurrencies for the purchase as well. So that is our vision for the next year, and that's what we are building towards at the moment.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you here today, and we're definitely very proud to be sponsoring the this event. And I mean, I'm really excited to see what's there to come for you guys.
Thank you very much, Andreas. It was a pleasure to join this Twitter space, and thank you very much for inviting me and being a partner in our hackathon. Thank you very much, Thanos, as well. Looking forward to our hackathon and working with you guys in the future.
Awesome. Likewise, wish you best of luck with your demo day.
Thank you very much.
Have a great day. Bye bye.
You too. Bye bye.